you said that a lot of the European practitioners, will always keep a Ganesha murti.
Yeah. Ganesha is everywhere. Like it's very common for people to have it because he's so benefic that people he gets everywhere, regardless of whether you're looking for Ganesh or not. He seems to be one of these gods that is out in the world and is happy to talk to people from different traditions.
Yeah. In Sanatandam, they say that any deity which has an animal face is easily reachable as compared to the deities with human faces.
Yeah.
It's not so much about hierarchy as much as it is about accessibility. So he's a very accessible deity.
Yeah.
And in Sanatandam, I've done countless podcasts on the subject of Ganesha. The two core learnings I have is that he is the remover of obstacles, and that's what Hindus pray to him for. And secondly, he's the deity of the lowest chakra, the root chakra, which allows you to ground yourself and be stable. So before we begin a large ritual like someone's marriage or a very large havan, it usually begins with a prayer to Ganesha to stabilize you and to stabilize the geography that you're in.
Yeah.
Similar to why you use Ganesha?
Yeah. That's what it gets used for by a lot of people. He's very popular. He's very popular. I think partly because when we're exploring the Western tradition, we're looking at a broken tradition. We're looking at a tradition which is strong in some areas. So we're strong in terms of magical books. We're weak in terms of like necessarily deity and people's connection to deity. So when people are looking for that, then Ganesh just fits this gap and seems happy to do so. And so for people to have a statue and to make puja to just do small offerings, sweets and incense and candles, and like it's a good benefic for people to have around. So he's found a place.
Most Sanatanis do not pray to Ganesha every single day. And you're a Western practitioner of European magic who prays to Ganesha every day.
Not every day, but like I have Ganesha and I burn candles from like most days. Yeah.
Got you. Do you use mantras as well?
I don't use mantra with him because I haven't been given a mantra, but I could use mantra with it.
So there are mantras which you need to be given by a guru or someone who has practiced with the mantra. And these are tantric mantras.
Yeah.
You can't just use a tantric mantra and expect that it'll work. Or it can actually cause chaos in your life if you use it. But there are softer mantras, easier ones that you can use.
Yeah.
So the common one, I'll write this down and send it to you, but it's a longer mantra.
Sure.
But I've always noticed that when you attach a longer mantra to a deity and you say that mantra with reverence, as well as after you've understood the meaning of it, your connection with the deity increases further and the deity is even more present in your life.
Yeah. Well, that would be a wonderful exchange.
Yeah. The mantra's a little long. I'll say it if you want, because I also want to say it in this particular episode as a thank you to him.
Yeah.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurmedeva Sarvakayeshu Sarvada. In the pronunciation, just like mine.
Yeah.
So you with mantras, if you're saying it out loud, you have to get the pronunciation right.
Yeah.
And ideally get it right even in your own mind.
Yeah.
But 108 times every day will cause that deity to come closer to you.
Yeah.
108 is a very important number when it comes to mantras. It's one entire mala for us. Mala is like a rosary.
Yeah.
And of course, then there's shorter mantras like Om Namah Shivaya,
Yeah.
which is like the easiest mantra for Shiva. But you can also use Om Namah Shivaya to like meditate. So if you just sit in meditation, that's a soft mantra.
Yeah.
And then there's much more fierce mantras as well. And there's a spectrum.
Yeah.
So even I have not reached the most fierce mantras, but I have been given mantras which are not for everyone.
Yeah.
Not fierce, but they're like kind of the beginner, they're the second level.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not for everyone, honestly. Causes a lot of, it causes challenges in your material life as well.
Yeah.
So it's testing your strength. If you're able to pass those tests, you'll come out good. And Yeah, but Ganesha is a soft deity and very, very friendly, very nice. It's kind of like, imagine the relationship you have with at least for me, because in Sanatan Dharma, you share personal relationships with the deity. And for me, it almost gives me a younger sibling kind of energy. Though I know it's Ganesha, it's a god, but there's a loving younger sibling stabilizing me, keeping me happy. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just like flowing away into my emotion.
No, it's perfect. Yeah.
They also say that emotions matter a lot in Sanatan Dharma. Are emotions a part of your magic?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
How do you use emotion?
I think unless you're emotionally involved with something, it doesn't become alive. Like you have to engage every aspect of yourself with these things. So if you're not tapping into your emotions, if you're not allowing these things to rise out of you, then you're probably not practicing.
Yeah. What else would you like to know from Indian culture? Like in your heart, you've been practicing magic for 30 years now.
Sure.
But you're a lifelong student.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to understand through Indian culture? Like how can Indian culture help someone like yourself or your community?
Well, I think it helps to see an animistic, pantheistic, flourishing deity, an example of the way that people have a complete. It seems like such a full universe that you inhabit because of your understanding of the way that deities are ever present in your lives, are ever present in the way that you do your lives, the way that you approach ritual, the way that you approach every aspect. It's so wonderful to see when you live in a largely secular culture, to see people with that level of practice and difference. That you have a culture that contains many different kinds of practitioners, all of whom are walking their own paths towards something. So the example of India, I think, is so powerful for us in the West to see what our tradition could become, because we're really probably only 100 or 200 years into like the rebirth of the Western tradition, coming out of like the wreckage of a broken Christianity and trying to understand who we are in the world and what we have to offer. And I think we can learn from all cultures because we're all in this journey together.
One of the things we celebrate in India when it comes to Sanatan Dharma is the fact that it's survived over hundreds of thousands of years. And that's what all of us believe. I do believe that your culture is hundreds of thousands of years old as well. Probably we originated from the same origin point on some level. Perhaps some of your ancestors were as Sanatani as my ancestors. But I believe that over the course of time, some pieces of your cultural story have been stripped off or destroyed.
Yeah.
And I think that people like yourself are going to rebuild those lost cultural pieces of tradition. Peter, I invite you to India. I want to thank you for this spectacular conversation because honestly, being very transparent with you, I almost feel like I got a message from Ganesha saying, hey, this is a good end to the episode. So just feel like stopping.
No, that's wonderful, Ranveer, and thanks for sharing your time and knowledge. It's been great.
It's very rare that I do a 4.5, 5 hour conversation with anyone. It's even rarer that I feel a higher energy level after doing the 5 hour conversation. So, man, God bless you. And thank you for being a part of this podcast. Thank you for being in my life. I've really prayed to the divine to send someone like you into the world of the Ranveer Show, and just feeling very blessed to be in your presence because I feel I've not even tapped into 5% of everything you've seen and done in your life.
That's great.
So thank you so much. Really appreciate you. If you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out these curated playlists that we've made especially for you related to the subject that was spoken about in this clip.